Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Battleground. This Movie Battleground matchup is the 420 exhibition match and the first Movie Battleground match between four players. Yes, you heard that right, four. This is going to be insane. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to try it out. Um, this is actually the second exhibition match of this style following the drunk match last month that this guy won. So, not to brag too much here, but yeah, this should be very fun. I think there's a lot of great questions, a lot of great competitors here, and let's just get right into it. So, we're going to introduce the first competitor. This is, let's see, bring him in, Alejandro Hernandez.
How's it
And
going, Jed?
it's going great, man. This is actually his debut match,
Yeah,
official debut match in the near future.
yeah. I
Um,
was going to say, technically my debut match. I can't think of a better way to get started than to be floating, representing. I got my Bob Marley T-shirt. I got my happy pants. I'm
that's
just
what.
ready to hang out and chill and see what happens. It's
Hey,
dark, and I'm wearing sunglasses.
I mean, if the other competitors don't have their happy pants on, I don't know if how well they're going to do. So you may run this. Let's see. Have you been able to prepare for this, and are you excited?
I mean, somewhat. I've seen a lot of the movies that the competitors are going to be presenting, so I think I got a pretty strong argument against most of them and why my choices are better. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to send you in the back. Talk to the next competitor, and good luck. All right. So the next competitor we're going to announce is actually Jake Tato Reese. What's up, buddy?
Hey, not much. How you doing?
Boom. He has a competitive record of 0-3, but you never know. Today might be your day.
Oh
um,
man, anything can happen on this glorious day that is totally 420.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Jake returns after a tough KO loss to Papa West. Though a
Ouch.
win tonight won't help his record, it'd do well for his confidence to have a good performance. That's what
Yes, it
Aaron
would.
wrote. So,
Aaron, I love you. Jeff's kiss.
yeah. So, are you excited to face these guys in particular?
Oh, very much so. I owe Madeeh one from a sports debate a while back.
All
So,
right.
and I think I've hung out with Alejandro once, and it is finally time for some potato on potato crime after 1 year.
All right. Yeah, that all sounds great. So we'll go ahead and kick you in the back and introduce your other competitor. All right. So introducing third, this is going to be Caleb Mashed Potatoes Hansen. Let me find him. He is right there. There you go. How's it going, man? Let me throw you in. I cannot hear you.
Are you muted? There we
Oh,
go.
there you go. Now
Sorry
I can
about
hear
that.
you. That's all right. How's it going, man?
Uh it's going great, man. It's what a wonderful day to argue about stupid topics about movies. Um
Yeah.
I just got into the spirit of things. That's how I prepared for this match. So we're just gonna see how insanely stoned ranting works.
Absolutely, yeah. Stoner movies are always fun. So, but let me get into this notes that Aaron wrote. Mashed Taters returns off the back of a win against Malcolm Lay, looking to keep the winning train going. Is that what you're trying to do?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like my understanding was this is an exhibition, so I didn't like prepare or anything.
Oh, okay.
I just got stoned and answered questions, so we'll see how that strategy works out.
Hey,
But
it works. It works well for some people.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't ever gotten to play Madeeh, but we've been on like streams before and stuff. He's pretty cool. And I know Jake Tato for a while, so like he said, some potato on potato action. We'll see how it goes.
That's pretty
And
great.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I
Absolutely.
got.
We'll go ahead and kick you in the back and see how this goes. All right. So actually, that would have been it. But now we have to introduce the fourth competitor. So last but not least, we have Madeeh Ur Rehman.
Hello.
Somebody-
I'm
How's it
good,
going?
man. I'm good. I wore the same clothes as Jake today. Did not wear happy pants. I won't show you what I'm wearing on my pants. And the potato on potato
Right.
action is probably the second weirdest Pornhub search I've ever done in my life.
Yep. That's cool. Yeah, I've actually faced you before. That was not.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
That was pretty
that
intense.
was a fun time.
I don't know if I envy your competitors right now, but I may have to face you again one day. We'll see.
Well, we won't say anything, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I
It'll be
don't
fun,
actually,
man.
I don't actually know anything,
Yeah,
so
who knows?
we'll have to see.
I'm
things
already
play
a little baked, so anything I say cannot be taken seriously. Most like usual.
out. Let me actually put your name up here.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I'm not actually a mashed potato. That's the other guy.
Well,
But no,
here are the things. Here are the things that I can say about you. Madeeh may have suffered a tough loss to current champion Joe Farrelly, but he's entering off the back of his best run ever in Movie Battleground and looking to keep it going. Is that what you're trying to do?
at this point for this match, sure, why not? I'll keep the narrative going. Honestly, the preparation I did was I wrote down the questions and what everyone answered, and that's it. And I watched a movie. I watched a movie in preparation for this too.
That seems to be the level of preparedness for this
Yep.
for pretty much everybody. So, let's. I think you did the same thing when we faced each other.
I
and
did,
you
yeah. I watched one
crushed
movie.
it,
That
so
movie didn't even get brought up. That's that's how well my preparation
works
went in that
sometimes.
match.
So, all right. Well, let's kick you in the back. Let's get this thing started. Well, actually, we'll bring everybody out, all the competitors out, and I will kind of go over the rules. I don't really have like a script or anything. Or I have a script, but I don't have a visual. So I'm just going to talk. Movie Battleground exhibitions are a best of 3 or first to 2 points wins. Each round of debate is worth 1 point. If one competitor earns the first 2 points in a row, that is a victory by KO, but the third question will still be played. And we will get to the rest of that if there is a 1-to-1-to-1 draw at the end of 3 rounds. Then we will go to a blind round, but we can talk about that later if and only if it happens. So actually, yeah, the competitors were given the questions ahead of the match and had time to prep their answers. If they chose not to, that's on them. Whatever. The first stage of a question is the 60-second opening. The second stage of a question is a longer 6-minute opening discussion amongst all 4 players. And then the third stage of a question is a 60-second closing. There's no 2-minute expansion. And, basically a lot of your time is that 6 minutes. So, use it wisely, try to share it if you can. Then
That's gonna
after
go so well.
each round, we will bring the 3 judges in. They will be brought on screen, during which they'll give their judgment of who won the round. If each judge selects a different opponent, then the host will give the tiebreaker vote. But actually, we're going to do it a little different because one of the judges that we had scheduled has not shown up yet. So I'm just going to serve as a third judge. If he pops in, we will handle it differently then. But there's just going to be the 3 judges for now. If we have to do tiebreaker, I don't know what the hell we're going to do, but we'll figure it out. All right. So and actually, we're going to read the first question, on which Alejandro will be going first. So, all right, let's bring out that first question. And it is, what is the best movie about stoners? Very interesting question. And so we will go ahead and get the timer up. Bear with me as I do this because this is my first time doing this everything basically. So
Smoke 'em if you got 'em, boys.
it's on. Yep. So, all right, there we go. So I got a minute, 6 minutes, and then another minute, and we will do that for each person here. I don't know. Try to just like organize it in a good way here. Let me do it how he has it on the document. The bottom. Boom. All right. There we go. So we're going to get this started. Is that? Yep. And hide that. And then we will go ahead and start. So Alejandro, you can The timer begins when you start speaking.
When you ask about the best stoner comedy, or I guess the best movie about stoners in general, you have to have something that has a lot of heart put into it, as well as the stoner aspect, right? You want to have comedies that make you laugh, but also feel good. That's the role. That's the goal of any comedy, I feel. But adding the consumption of cannabinoids, if you will, is something of a footnote. But I think the movie that does it the best is Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny. Jack Black and Kyle Gass as the band are so phenomenal. Their HBO show is hilarious, and they have such great chemistry on screen together because they are best friends in real life. Again, smoking weed is just kind of a footnote in what they do, but you kind of follow these guys through a trip that gets worse and worse progressively. But I think it has it's a passion project, and I have a soft spot for things like that. So for that reason, I'm going with Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny.
All right, there we go. Time is up. And so then we will go to Madeeh, and the timer will begin when he begins speaking.
Sorry. Okay, so I went with the movie Friday. The one that came out in like the mid 90s, starring Ice Cube, Chris Tucker. Also has like a buttload of black comedians and actors and actresses that maybe weren't as big yet, but became big later. Like I'm talking Regina King, Bernie Mac, rest in peace. Tiny Lister or Zeus, rest in peace as well. John Witherspoon, a lot of these people have died now, which is a little upsetting. But I'm going with this movie because not only is it timeless, but it's also just a consistently great movie throughout the entire like 90-minute runtime. Everyone in the movie plays their part really well, and it's funny, it's quotable, and it's been almost 30 years, and you still have people quoting "You got knocked the fuck out" or "Damn" or "Bye Felicia," which became a huge thing. I didn't know what people meant by it when they said it 5 years ago, but it's a huge thing now. So I'm going with Friday.
All right, perfect. Now, reset this bad boy. All right, now we're going to go on to mashed potatoes. So time begins when you start speaking.
So I went ahead and picked a movie that I think is probably the most realistic depiction of a stoner. In that I picked The Big Lebowski. It's a classic movie. Insane shit happens to him, but the dude abides. He's a consummate stoner. He's funny. And it's also just a great fucking movie. It's a great movie to watch when you're stoned, and even if you're not stoned, you can enjoy it too. There's something that everybody can enjoy, and it's like one of the best Coen Brothers movies. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, choosing to end about 15 seconds early. That is no problem. Let me bring this bad boy back up so you guys can see the timer. All right, reset it. And then we're going to let Jake go after I remove that. And time begins, Jake, when you begin speaking.
Dazed and Confused is the best movie about stoners because it is A, the best movie out of these four movies, period. B, it is a great stoner movie. It encapsulates a wide and much more realistic image of marijuana. Everyone in this movie smokes. We see jocks, nerds, popular kids. We see the classic stoner to the kid trying it for his first time. And even though this movie is set almost 50 years in the past at this point, it still holds up. It like today, fucking that shit still happens. Everyone is smoking. It casts a wide net, and I will yield the rest of my time.
All right. Ending about 10 seconds early. That's okay. So now we will pause reset. And now we get into our 6-minute debate. I will remove that. I'm going to start the time off screen. I'm just going to let y'all be on screen. And time begins when the first person starts.
I can't believe you think Dazed and Confused is better than Friday, first of all.
I can't believe you think Dazed and Confused is a good movie.
Yeah.
That movie is terrible.
I can't get through the movie personally, but that's besides the point. I agree. That's the Dave Chappelle one, right? Just so we're clear, because I
No, Dazed and
can't even
Confused
remember.
is
Yikes.
Richard Linklater with like Ben Affleck and Matthew McConaughey being a pedophile.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was
Madeeh,
way
you
off.
want
That was Pat Bates I was
Madeeh,
thinking of.
Madeeh, you want to talk about quotable? All right. I will talk about quotable.
That's not even just like a quote about the movie. That's just Matthew McConaughey probably just talking. I
Yeah.
feel like Matthew
Right.
McConaughey just says that, and then they were like, "Yeah, let's put it in the movie. Why not?" Man, honestly, I watched Dazed and Confused for the
Seems like-
first time like 2 days ago, which is the one movie I prepared for this by actually watching it.
Still never
then-
seen it. This is like the
and-
one movie on the list that I haven't seen.
It's not worth it. And the
Yeah,
entire
I
time,
didn't imagine it was. Like, it's hard to sit through 2.5 hours just to get through all right, or whatever, however long the movie is. I don't even know.
bro, the entire time, I for some reason found myself siding with the adults in the movie. I don't know if that's
100%. That's kind of my
ridiculous.
that's kind of
no.
my take against Dazed and Confused is that
they're
like
all
it-
shitty
yes,
kids.
yes, they're all smoking, but they're all like doing bad things because they're smoking. Like it's all just terrible. Like
What are you talking
doing
about?
terrible
That's
things.
Man,
like no,
they're
Dazed and Confused
straight up
portrays
assaulting children.
Yeah,
I would
That's the
choose-
whole thing of the first 30 minutes is like them trying to.
those guys aren't
beat the
smoking
ass.
weed at that time.
Yeah, but they're still shit people. It's like if I wanted to watch like
Yeah,
the Rob
that's how-
Zombie
that's
movies.
like
They're
where
shit people. I don't
fucking-
want to follow
You want to talk
them.
about
Stoner
fucking
does
weed
not make you
smokers doing
automatically
bad
likable
shit?
in any way.
Big Lebowski and Friday are both awesome.
Great movies.
Okay, all these
Yeah,
movies are
absolutely.
fun.
Keep talking about
all
how
these
Friday
movies
is
are
awesome.
fun to watch.
The Pick
Fuck
of
it.
Destiny, I think, is just the better movie because it has a soundtrack.
All right,
That's-
I'll
Friday
get
has a
that's
this.
nice.
soundtrack. Friday
Yeah,
has a
look,
good
I'll
movie.
The
just
sound-
get
Destiny
the
this
has
one
soundtrack
out
of
nothing
Pick
there.
of
to do with
Destiny
weed.
is
There's no
amazing. And those guys put in the work to make it great. Like,
Yeah, the
You can't
soundtrack
argue
is
with that.
awesome, but that doesn't make it the best movie about stoners. I'll get this one out since I'm that guy. Rotten Tomatoes, Pick
Oh,
of
you
Destiny,
fucking guy.
52.67. Friday, 78.91. And this is obviously going tomato meter to audience. Big Lebowski, 83.93. Dazed and Confused, 92.90. Like, the most people agree with me that this
we
is
get
the
it. The
best
critics
movie.
really loved it when it came out.
oh yeah.
And they
No
didn't
one
really
likes it.
like Big Lebowski when it came out. Oh, big surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're still with those
Of
three
course,
movies are
Tenacious
still,
D didn't do
those
well.
three
Their fan
movies
base
are still within
stoners.
3%.
Like,
Come on,
in
man. You think Roger
critics.
Ebert's gonna watch Friday and be like, "This is the movie for me"?
See, like,
that's what I was gonna say. Friday is not for
I take
everybody.
issue with Alejandro like
He-
being like, of course it didn't do
Ebert
well because
liked
they're
Jason
stoners.
Amy.
Like,
It's not like
I'm
Ebert
saying
is a fucking gay
I don't
woman.
have money.
None of us have money, I'm assuming.
That's what I'm saying.
No, look, Jake, you picked the worst movie out of all four of these movies.
I agree
Let's
with
be- I gotta be honest, man.
No, because fucking
It's a movie
everyone
about
agrees-
a pedophile and a bunch of assaulting like teenagers as they beat their way through an elementary school. Like, and they happen to smoke weed.
not
Like,
to mention the peeping Tom who's jerking off in the bathroom.
oh yeah, that happened.
That's
I
not a
I
thing.
somehow, in the mix of all the other things,
I do think it's funny that you three
not a
all
thing in that
picked,
movie.
like realistic depictions of how people would react in these
and then
situations
you went
instead
with
of
one
like
where they
a
have
fantastical
rock-off-
comedy. Like, is that not
don't know.
what you want? Like,
It's
do
not
you guys
even
not
like
like
your-
get high
your
and watch
movie is-
cartoons sometimes?
Yeah, but
You're-
the question is not what is the best movie to get high and watch on this situation.
No, the question is what
What
is the best
movie
stoner
about
movie?
stoner
stoners?
that you can watch while stoned because it's about
Yeah,
stoners.
I mean,
and
yeah, you can
like,
watch.
you
You
can
can
jam
watch
out
any
to
of
it,
those
you
Big
can
movies.
laugh.
Lebowski is about like one stoner. Pick of Destiny.
Yeah, and all the crazy
Reed
shit
gets
around him and
villainized
how he
in Pick of
reacts
Destiny
like-
when
like a
Kyle
stoner
starts
would.
partying.
Not only do they smoke weed, but they also do mushrooms.
Yeah, you also.
Not that
Also,
you
I
anybody
want to
should
bring
do
it. Yeah,
mushrooms. I'm just
exactly.
saying they do.
Like
I don't.
about
Okay, so hold on.
Stoners smoke weed.
Stoners also do shrooms where it's available.
Stoners do whatever they
It's
get.
true.
Right.
Humans do what humans want to do.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Gets
I'm
you
only going to
stoned.
bring
For
this one up, Alejandro, since you mentioned in real life that Kyle and Jack are best friends. I will bring in real life into his. Jack Black doesn't smoke.
No, he
Really?
does not. He doesn't really like to smoke, but
No,
he has
he
smoked
got-
weed.
His
That's
episode
on
of Getting
occasion.
Dug with High ruined
Yeah.
my fucking life.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
it.
He's not a regular smoker.
He's not a regular smoker, but he will on occasion with KG, presumably, because that guy's definitely smoking.
I mean, hang on. The guy is 50 and he's got kids, so I can put it past him if he's out
Yeah.
of that life.
I mean, I'm
So-
referencing an episode of Getting
But
Dug with
Kevin
High
Smith
from
is
like
still smoking weed.
2013.
Kevin Smith
Yeah.
is Kevin Smith, though. I don't
Kevin
think anyone
Smith
can
is
put
Kevin
that out of
Smith.
his
Shout
That's
out.
like
Kevin
saying Seth
Smith-
Rogen is Seth Rogen. Like,
This has absolutely
that's not
nothing
an
to do with
argument.
anything, but Kevin
You
Smith
want to
did
talk
start
about, like,
until he was in his
big
Here's the
30s.
ass like Friday, Amy Poehler, Paul F. Tompkins, Dave Grohl as Satan himself. Like, come on, man.
Let me put a slight attack on Friday a little bit.
Why?
There are some that are really good scenes, but also a lot of the vignettes don't really hold up that well. And some of the acting is over the top. Freaking Earthquake is kind of annoying and
I
isn't
love
that great.
Earthquake.
All
I
right,
love
and
Earthquake.
that's time. All right, great job, guys. All right, so now we're going to go into closings, and I believe we're going to go back up to the top, right, and start with Alejandro first. In that same order. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do it that way. So Alejandro, you have 60 seconds to close this out when you begin speaking.
I apologize for misunderstanding the assignment. I chose a whimsical story about achieving your goals and paying your rent, and I guess that was a misstep in my case. But I really enjoy The Pick of Destiny. It's a hidden gem in comedy that I find myself revisiting time and time again. Anytime you want to smoke weed and just turn your brain off, jam out, and watch something cool, you can't really do better than The Pick of Destiny, child. I think that's enough that I won't get sued.
Nice.
All right, I guess he's ceding his time there.
Yes, I am. Sorry, that was the finale.
That's all right. That was great. All right, so now let's go to Madeeh. Time begins when you begin speaking.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Sorry, 1 second. Oh Jesus. Okay, I went with Friday because it's just the best movie out of all of them. Big Lebowski is a fine film. Jeff Bridges isn't really acting in it. He's just kind of wandering around. I'm pretty sure the Coen brothers just put a camera on him and follow him around the city. Also, parts of it are great, but it doesn't have the bits in the middle to tie it all together. Like, it's just a bunch of cool scenes, like, and cool moments like "Shut the fuck up, Donnie," and then they're like, "All right, now we're gonna go on to this one," and there's not like a great through line, if that makes sense. I'm sorry. Friday is the only one that actually did do something outside of cinema. Like, it showed a black neighborhood as something that wasn't just dangerous or menacing like it was in cinema the past few years. F. Gary Gray launched his career with it. Ice Cube became a viable comedic actor because of it, and then went on to do other comedic stuff. Chris Tucker launched his career from it. Bernie Mac is great. Regina King is great. Nia Long is awesome. John Witherspoon is iconic and quotable. 30 years on, it's still making us laugh.
All right, and that's time. Now we're going to go to mashed potatoes. Time will begin when you begin speaking.
Mashed potatoes.
So The Big Lebowski, yes, it is only about one stoner and the things that happen around him, but he is also the realist stoner. Like Madeeh was saying, they could have just put a camera on Jeff Bridges and like followed him around, and it would have been probably the same thing. It's the realist depiction of a stoner. It's also, it's not glorifying it like some of these movies do, and it's also not like blowing it out like Friday does with the weed use. Like they're tripping and seeing heads in their pantry and stuff. Other drugs become involved, and then there's like fantasy sequences later on, sure, but not the weed. And I don't know, it's the Big Lebowski it's just a really good movie. I don't know what Madeeh was talking about with it doesn't have a through line. It's a guy clumsily following, trying to figure out what happened to a kidnapped girl.
All right. And now we're going to go to the last minute with Jake Tato, and time will begin when you begin speaking.
Alrighty. Pick a Destiny is a fun movie, but not close to the best. Weed ends up villainized in it when KG ends up partying too much and stuff like that. As I've said, both critics and audiences are with me in that Dazed and Confused is a fantastic movie. These guys mentioned these guys mentioned the characters that are bad characters and show the negative effects of marijuana, as Caleb points out. But we also see the positive effects that it has on some characters. And like he said, it is about one stoner. The question is, what is the best movie? Or Caleb admitted that Big Lebowski is about one stoner. The question is, what is the best movie about stoners? We get to see a massive gamut of stoners in, Dazed and Confused. I got cottonmouth. So that is my argument, and I will cede this time.
It actually ran out. I just didn't get the thing up quick enough. All right, cool. So that's the end of that. I'm going to bring all of the competitors
great.
out. Good job, everybody. And then I will bring add my that, and I'm gonna bring out the other judges. Here we go. So we got Haven Pendergast, we have Chris Diaz, and myself. But we're going to start with Haven.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised nobody picked Cheech and Chong. Those are like the classic movies about stoners. But anyway, I think everybody had good points of why they like their movies, why they picked their movies. But at the end of the day, they didn't really say anything during that 6 minute tongue fest that they had. Everybody just kind of picked on Dazed and Confused. But at the end, I'm gonna have to give it to Alejandro because he pulled out the guitar and he played a sweet tune. So Alejandro gets my vote.
All right, nice. Okay, so now we will go to Chris to see what he thought.
This is a confusing match to watch. Like everybody was just hitting on Tatum, and honestly, I think Tatum's point at the end, and thank God provided support by his movie by saying it as a Jake because nobody else said much about this film. All about Jake's choice, and it was very confusing debate, Judge.
All right, great job, Chris. Okay, so yeah, I was between two going into this because just like Chris said, everybody was just just jumping on Dazed and Confused, and honestly, I'm gonna show my impartial a little bit here. Dazed and Confused, and I think everybody was jumping on it because they knew that was the one that you have to attack. That's just me speculating, but everybody really did, kind of jump on that. That was the one that they were mostly talking about. I loved what Madeeh said about, what Friday did for like a culture and, stuff like that. I think people did hit on Big Lebowski saying it's about like just one stoner. I don't know if that's really fair, just because it's about stoners. I really wanted to hear more from Jake too about like what the positive effects of marijuana was on people. That would have like hit it home a little more, I think. But I think I'm gonna go at the end of the day. I think I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Chris on this one, and it's not just because I like Dazed and Confused so much. I just think that Jake really did hit it on. It showed a bunch of different type of stoners and stuff like that, and that was the key point that sold me on that one. So we're going to go ahead and give Jake the first point. So thank you, judges. We're going to send you back, bring out the other people, betters. All right, and then I have to go ahead update a score. I think I don't know how to do that. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do that another time. Just know that Jake has one. All right, and let's go on to the next question. Question number 2. What is the best non-stoner movie to watch while high as shit? All right. So that's a fun question. Okay, so let's go here. I'm gonna go back to my notes so that I can see who goes first next, and it's gonna be Madeeh is gonna go first next.
All right.
So let's I'm gonna bust out that timer. Feel free to edit around this if you need, but we're going to order people the way it says on here, so I know what's going on. All right. So we got Madeeh, we got mashed potatoes second, and then we have Jake, and then Alejandro last on this one. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so now we're going to start this question with Madeeh as soon as he begins speaking with his 1-minute opening.
All right. So a few things happen when you're high as shit. When you're watching a movie, you start processing everything a little differently. The visuals pop a lot more. The sound pops a lot more, and you get hit with a lot of crazy thoughts that may or may not be crazy. So, you got to just go with the flow and see how it goes. The best movie to experience all this with is The Matrix. The Matrix is a movie that, is a great movie as is, but you watch it when you're high, it takes it to another level. You start seeing the bullet time pop a lot more. The music is already good, but it hits you a lot harder. And a lot of themes in the Matrix of whether we're living in a simulation or whether anything we know is real or not just hit you so much harder, and you start processing everything that's going on in a much different way. And it's still a great movie whether you're sober or high. And when you are high, you understand it in so many different levels, and it's like just constantly you're thinking about it and going, oh my god, this is great, this is great, this is great. That's time.
Nice. All right, so now we're going to go to mashed potatoes with his first minute when he begins speaking.
You're muted, babe.
Muted. Yeah. Hey, so my pick is The Princess Bride. I think it's the perfect movie to watch while you're high as shit. It's eminently quotable. It's got everything in it. It's got sports. It's got romance. It's got monsters and magic and everything else that grandpa says. It's super quotable. You can, like, almost every line of it is like a known quote. It's super good. Carrie Elwes is iconic in it. You got Under the Giant. You got Mandy Patinkin. Like, The Princess Bride is the best movie to watch when you're stoned. You feel good. You get some laughs. You get a little romance. You feel happy. You feel sad. You get all of it, and you get baby Fred Savage. That's it.
All right, yielding the time there. That's okay. Bust that back out. All right. And now we're going to go to Tato when he begins speaking.
Tato, you're muted, bro.
Yeah.
God damn it, I done did it myself. Yes, we'll count that as time. Carry on. I have picked a film in which there is all funny, zero stress, zero actual risk of consequence. And I have also selected a movie from a comedy troupe, which is known as Monty Python. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is something you can check out of, because it's not really a movie so much as like a collection of skits. You can dip out, fall asleep, get in a stoner loop, anything you want. And it's just a great fun. It's a fun time, but you don't worry about anything happening. It is a great short-term memory movie, and as we all know, marijuana is a memory loss drug.
All right. Perfectly timed there. All right. So now we're going on to Alejandro. when he begins speaking.
This is such a unique position to be in. I had to sit here and listen to all of that. I think there's a good spread across the board of movies that make you pay attention and movies that are brainless and kind of forgettable. But I'm with Madeeh on this one. You want a movie that can capture you visually, and the soundtrack will encapsulate you, and the story will envelop you and immerse you into the universe. Interstellar has everything you're looking for, man. Like, it not only makes you think about what happens later in the spiritual world, but also makes you look at the physical world differently, the way you perceive time and space. And I think when you're wanting to get stoned and just watch an Oscar-worthy performance, get lost in the darkness of space, Interstellar is the movie for you. Matthew McConaughey is great, Anne Hathaway is great, Mike Caine. I could care less about Jessica Chastain, but that's besides the point.
That is time, and now we're going to go into the 6-minute open debate.
Are we waiting to a movie that you want to check out of when you're high?
No,
Like,
no. Okay, the question here is high as shit.
yeah.
I agree. You can get high and watch fucking, like, you can enjoy Interstellar and The Matrix high and shit. But while high as shit, you need to be able to have, like, just watch some shit and be able to zonk out and pass out, because sometimes that happens when you're high as shit. Interstellar, Matrix, more shroomy, hallucinatory, fucking, like, but when you're just smoking a fuckload of weed, you gotta. I would think
Interstellar is more of like a floaty kind of movie. Like you recede into the darkness, like a sensory deprivation tank. The Matrix is more of a comic book movie, but I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, it's not the same kind of movie.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get high as shit and deal with humanity's survival and binary code,
Bro,
and
I'm
batteries and wormholes and ghosts.
You're saying you want simple things, but you're talking about Monty Python.
Monty Python's not that simple either.
It's not that simple.
Like, it's a pretty complex.
It's just a series of funny events.
Yeah, but it's like
it's strung together.
There's no story that you have to keep up with your high brain.
There absolutely is. There's the story of the murder that happened on the film set.
That's not a thing in the movie.
It absolutely is. That's the entire ending of the movie. They all get arrested for the murder.
Yeah.
Also, I think everybody forgot about the Princess Bride entirely.
Listen, Princess Bride is a perfect movie when you're sober, but when you watch it high, it doesn't change anything.
Exactly.
Because there are no stakes to worry about in Monty Python.
Yeah, but
just
also
get to
a brainless stoner. If you want me to watch Monty Python sketches on YouTube, that's what you want from me. You don't want to watch Monty Python on the Holy Grail. You just want to laugh at the Monty Python sketch for a little while. I can get behind that. That's fine.
Princess
but sit through like the whole
Monty
movie.
Python are the same movie, whether you're sober or high.
Except
so it doesn't really.
There's fucking peril. You're worried about Wesley and Buttercup.
Let's go ahead and talk about something else. Interstellar is boring as shit. You're gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, you're one of those dudes that thinks Fellowship of the Ring is boring too, aren't you?
I'm gonna say this. Interstellar is a little too long.
For a little while, you'll catch on to what's going on.
Like 2 hours 45 or whatever it is.
It's a long movie, but man, it takes you places. I'm saying
to bed, bro. I'm passed out by the 2 hours.
Fifth dimension.
to the fourth dimension. That's love.
Before they get to that dimension, I'm passed out.
Every time.
Like I want to enjoy a movie. And also, I can't
enjoy
stop
Interstellar.
The Matrix is giggling.
The Matrix is
worry about with a lot of people
and Tank and fucking APOC dying. I don't
listen. I'm telling you guys, if you guys haven't watched The Matrix when you're high, it's probably the best experience I've had watching it since I saw it in the theater.
I've watched it while I'm high.
It's like a whole new movie that you get to enjoy and like break down. It's so good. Like, not only is it like a great movie outside,
it was innovative when it came out with its use of the shadow cam and slow motion capture and all that shit, CGI and stuff. But we've evolved since then. We've gotten
Yeah, it's a
Avatar,
Matrix
and
Revolutions.
Dude,
whatever
if
the
you
new
want to
one-
see,
or Resurrection.
if you want bullet time, a better movie would have been Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That's a better movie to watch high as shit than.
I
Nah,
mean,
because Kung
Matrix.
Pao doesn't have enough.
I'm
of,
not
like, the
disagreeing with you, but only because
theology
it's not
behind
on
it. I'm
TV.
saying when you're high, you get into like the theology of the Matrix too, which is like a whole nother level
For
of like
sure, you
enjoying
get
the
sucked
movie.
into that.
I can
No,
appreciate that you can think about that movie just at all.
Yeah, man, I love
Wait.
watching that movie. Like,
Wait,
it-
but
it's-
look, like, so you can't say a single bad thing about The Princess Bride, though, and
I
like,
mean,
listen,
I can say it's
Princess-
kind
yeah,
of
okay,
yeah, no,
enjoyable,
you want to hear
better,
what's
like,
bad
every
to say?
time.
like Hook.
Jake and
Rodents
I are
of
in the same
Unusual
boat.
They
Size
described
freak
Described
me
it
out.
as a perfect movie without weed. So like,
It
you
is.
add
Listen,
weed, it's even
I'm
better.
not gonna try and lie. Princess Bride is my favorite movie of all time.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
That's pretty up
But
there.
but it's my favorite movie when I'm sober too. Like it doesn't get enhanced or like nothing changes when I'm doing the hashish. Like, it's the
Nah,
same
it gets
movie.
funnier.
Nah, it's just I still laugh
I suppose.
regardless. Like
It
it's
depends on
not,
how many times you've seen it.
I've seen it maybe like 75 times at this point.
Oh, like
But-
more like triple digits for me.
Yeah, like
I don't
like,
want to deal with rodents of unusual size or shrieking eels, and I don't want to see Wesley in pain from the machine. That's not fun. There is no part of Monty
It is
Python that is
fun.
no.
It's
No,
because it makes you invested
all
in the
movies are fun.
characters and the things that are happening. There are stakes.
Yeah, but
that
you
are
don't
going
want to
on.
do that when you're high as shit. You just want to laugh and have a fucking good time, man.
I mean, maybe
Man.
you do,
Yeah.
but like, I mean,
I
like,
also
Everybody's
just
got their own
enjoy like
ritual. That's
the
cool.
weed
man.
thoughts that come
I like
out
to
with
learn stuff when I'm high.
Yeah, and
I like to
you
enjoy
don't
the
Again,
really-
range of emotions.
I love learning stuff when I'm high. I'm just maybe I'm taking the high versus high as shit thing too seriously, but
I mean,
when you're
is there a
high
difference?
as shit.
That's a subjective thing too. Like,
Yeah, I
What is
think
high
Jake,
as shit?
Jake, you just want to pass out during a movie,
and it depends
Which-
on what time it is, man.
which you could also do by watching Morbius. Like that.
You
That's
can
not.
watch Princess Bride and
so-
fall asleep.
So
Like,
one
it's
thing
designed to do that.
I'll agree with Jake on this, that like the Matrix, you can be too high to watch the Matrix and then like
Or
not even
Interstellar.
like really get what's going on. That's just the point to end it on.
All right. Yep. There you go. All right. So now we're going to get into the closing minutes here, and we're going to start with Madeeh when he begins speaking.
All right. So all these movies are great films when you're sober. That's pretty much a given. The only one that's taken to another level when it's already a great movie is The Matrix. Interstellar is a little too long, and it's also not the best Nolan movie to watch while high. That's Inception. It's not the best space movie to watch while high. That's 2001: Space Odyssey. So it's a solid fifth place, I guess. Sure. Princess Bride and Monty Python, they're both really funny without weed, and being high when you're watching it doesn't change the experience. It's just the same movie. You're still laughing at the same beats. Everything is the same except now you have weed in your system. Like, there's no reason to watch it while high other than you're just high beforehand and you watch it. The Matrix is the only one that gives you an entirely new appreciation of the theology and the background, as well as appreciating all the visuals and the sound of the movie. Even though it's a great movie on its own, when you're watching it when high, it's a whole nother level. I feel like that's more than a minute. Okay, there you go.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. All right. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to move to mashed potatoes. When he begins speaking, time will start.
So again, like Tato was saying, I think the keyword was high as shit in this question, and the Matrix, you can be too high for and just be like, what's going on? This is weird. Same could be said for Inception. But you got The Princess Bride, which is a classic that like I think is pretty much universally loved. Everyone who's seen it thinks it's great. It's eminently quotable. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel a range of emotions. And just because it's a perfect film without weed doesn't mean like sex is great without weed, but it's also good when you have weed in your system. It's even better. Weed has been known to improve your enjoyment of things. So The Princess Bride is the perfect movie to watch, whether you're stoned or not, but especially when you're stoned. The end.
All right, perfect. There we go. Now we're going to move on to Jake Tato. When he begins speaking, so will his minute.
Alrighty. As I pointed out, every other movie just has too many buzzkills when you're high as shit. Interstellar, Matrix, like, yeah, fun to watch on drugs and shit. But again, there's just too many issues to deal with, and I don't want to deal with that in my brain. And again, Princess Bride, too cohesive. Rodents of unusual size scare me. Fire is portrayed as a bad guy, which you don't want to deal with in weed movies. Like, Fire Swamp bad? Nah, Fire Swamp good. Like in Shrieking Eels, again, just I'm not trying to deal with the stress of any of the other of these three movies. And even in situations where the knights are in peril, it's still fucking hilarious. So, just a hilarious fun time with Holy Grail. Nothing but hilarious fun time. Boom.
All right. And now we're going to go on to Alejandro for his minute when he begins speaking. Sorry for the noises.
I'm going to try to make this quick because I had to sit through all of that, and it was exhausting. There's no risk and no worry going into Monty Python. I absolutely agree with you. You can get the same effect from watching clips on YouTube without having to sit through the entire movie. The Princess Bride is a swashbuckling adventure. Of course it's going to be good. Everybody loves that movie. Everybody loves that movie. So of course stoners are going to love that movie too. Not because they're high as shit. The Matrix is about on the same level as Interstellar, not Inception, but it's Interstellar. And where it kind of makes you think a little bit more, but you have that fun aspect, that action thriller aspect. Interstellar doesn't give you that. You're just kind of along this journey being walked through time and space. And I think when you're high as shit, you can enjoy that if you just chill for a little while, you know? When I'm high as shit, I'm not doing anything. I'm not worrying about work tomorrow. I'm just thinking about, do I really want Cheez-Its right now? And I don't have a guitar for this outro because I don't need one. Interstellar is obviously the better.
That's time. All right. So now we're done with that. So
I heard Cheez-Its, and now I snack.
we're removing
Yeah, Cheez-Its
all
right
the
over there.
competitors, and we're going to bring out the judges here. All right, and we're going to start with Chris this time.
So this is another interesting debate. I would just say that just quickly. I do not take Monty Python's Planet LL. But I would go with Madeeh. I think he made a recent point talking about the visual matrix, saying how you should get high on it, and I thought he did a good job knocking down everybody else.
All right, perfect. Now we're going to go to Haven.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Chris on this one. I'm gonna have to go with the Matrix, Madeed's pick. He just brought up a couple good points on the movie itself. Nobody else really talked about their movie. Jake, talked about a couple scenes, but everybody knows those scenes. So Interstellar, I get high and watch every movie, but Interstellar is not one that I don't know. Yeah, Prince of Bali is a classic, so Madeed, he just captured it visually better than everybody else. Like you can see yourself stoned and see what he was talking about, through the POV of just being baked and seeing all the just hearing the music, way better soundtrack, just seeing the visuals, the stunning fight scene. So yeah, I'll give it to Madeed.
All right, nice. So we got unanimous opinion there of the two judges, and Madeeh gets that second point. So now we will bring back in the other competitors for the competitors. And all right, so now we're going to get into the third question, which is, which movie character would you want to smoke weed with? All right, so we're actually going to go mashed potatoes, Jake, Tato, Alejandro, and Madeeh this time in that order. So which movie character would you want to smoke weed with? Caleb can start, and the time will start when he begins speaking.
Okay, so I picked a guy who he's a bit of a troublemaker, but he's always there to help bail you out. He's the type of guy that'll give you the last bit of weed that he's got just to make sure that you're having a good time. I picked Mariadoc Brandybuck from the Lord of the Rings movies. He would absolutely be the best guy to smoke with. He's always finding the best weed. And he's just a fun guy. He'll sing a song, he'll dance with you, he'll take you on an adventure. He'll literally like risk his life if you need to get away. He's like the perfect guy to party with. Absolutely, Mariadoc Brandybuck is the guy. Plus, he's fun and small, and the timer didn't start, huh? Was that it? Was that a minute?
It's officially a minute now. You're good. You were under.
Okay. Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chad is more stoned than the competitors, apparently.
Whoops.
Oopsie.
Gotcha.
You know what? I'll fix that. Give me 1 second.
So that was great. So now we're gonna go to Jake Tato with his first minute when he begins speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, screw all of these guys and their bullshit, selfish answers. I'm using my magic wish on this question to save half the fucking universe. And for that reason, my answer is the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. We have seen that Thanos can be reasoned out of mass genocide. Star-Lord T'Challa taught us that. Rest in peace. So, I'm going to bring a bunch of Infinity Gauntlet-shaped doobies, sit down with the man, and ask him what is going on. And if I wanted to get selfish, he's a gardener. He can invent a bunch of shit. Fucking mutant melons, sleep bong, burrito tree, snap.
And that is time. All right, perfect. Now we're gonna go to Alejandro for his introductory minute when he begins speaking.
I already said that I like to learn stuff when I get high. And for some reason, when I heard the question, who do you want to get high with that doesn't exist? The first name that popped in my head was Tony Stark. I was like, what? But in thinking about it, yeah, that makes absolute sense. He would be super chill. I don't care if Robert Downey Jr. is not smoking weed anymore. Tony Stark is definitely smoking weed. Drinks all the time. He'll have a J every now and again. But I think he gets like me, right? Like he gets obsessive. He has to focus on something or teach somebody something or build something. And I think that would be super fun to do. So I'm going with the MCU portrayal of Tony Stark. I think it'd be super cool. I can cede my time if there's any left.
Yeah, there was time left, and he seeded it. That's perfectly okay. Now we're gonna go to wait a second. It's Madeeh, right? That hasn't gone yet.
I have to go.
So we're gonna go to Madeeh with his first minute when he begins speaking. Whoop.
Okay. So I picked a movie that, you can experience at a different level when you're high. So it's not just like good when you're. Did I do this one already?
No, yeah, we're doing the character you want to smoke with.
Oops, hang on. I forgot to scroll down.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I went with Ed from Shaun of the Dead. I'm hoping this is the right question now because that was a little bit much. I went with Ed because he's just a nice, chill guy. I'm not like wanting to smoke weed with someone who might kill me or someone who's going to go crazy. I just want to play video games, watch movies, get some snacks, and just, like enjoy the time that I have. Like he's a guy who deals weed, so he obviously has some. And it's just like, it's going to be a good time. He has good taste in music. He has some good zombie killing skills if that comes up while we're, a little off there. But he also just is like just a genuinely cool guy to hang out with and just relax and have a good time. That's all I want. I don't want to go like too insane. and like pick someone who might destroy the universe if I say something wrong. I just want to have a good time with a good friend and enjoy life. That's what I want to have.
All right, perfect. So now we're going to get into the 6-minute open debate. Everybody have at it. When the first person speaks, I will start the time.
Madeeh, I could do that anytime with anybody.
Exactly.
Why does
And
it
then
have
you
to be
add
Fly
in
to
Ed?
Ed,
London.
who's just a
They
great
have
guy
fat
too.
people there.
Listen, I just
Uh,
want to have. I don't care how many people are there, as long as they're all cool, chill people. Not. Can we let's point this out.
I don't get how we're going after Madeeh first. When
I
you
was
said
gonna
Tony
say-
Stark would be cool, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Giving intoxicants to an addict who's trying to recover. That's
He's
a
an
great idea.
alcoholic. Oh, yeah. Robert Downey
It's
Jr.
a terrible
Tony
idea.
Stark
It's a terrible
is
idea.
a
Why would you
terrible
want to
idea.
smoke with
That-
him?
Also,
That is a
which Tony,
distinction that I made earlier.
which Tony Stark are we doing it? Are you saying we're smoking weed with? Because pre-Iron Man, Tony Stark was a dick, and I don't want to hang out with him.
I would
Post
be
Civil
down to
War,
hang out with him at any time. The smoking weed time, preferably.
yeah.
Imagine getting the munchies and this dude building like a donut machine that can make donuts out of any edible matter.
Oh
Makes you think
yeah,
he would have
because
any
my
time to
guy
hang out
doesn't
with
have
you.
I'm down.
the ability to make
He never has
donuts or
time to
Here's the
hang. He
thing.
would never have
so-
time
Hold
to
on.
hang out.
Can
How
we
is
all
Tony
just?
Stark less reasonable than Thanos?
I was gonna say, can we all agree that Thanos is the worst choice here? by
Thanos
far?
is a terrible
Oh
idea.
yeah, you
But if
Listen.
Thanos was smoking
I'm
weed, none of that
saving
would happen.
half the
If-
fucking universe, you
Dude,
fuckholes.
your logic is using
Listen.
what if. What if is your logic? Is yeah,
Also,
Marvel what if
don't
is why it would be cool to smoke with Thanos because you
Yeah.
could save the universe.
It's fine
by
if you just be like,
smoking with
"How
him.
you doing, big guy?"
Okay, again,
Don't forget that he
even if
also
I'm
tried
going
to.
selfish, I can do way more selfish shit with Thanos than Tony. We can
I was-
fucking
Let's be real though, Thanos, you're gonna like sit there with like a few hours, eating,
He'll
talking
fucking kill
shit
you
with
in a
Thanos,
fucking
and you're just
second.
gonna be, you're gonna have to hear him talk like it's not genocide, it's random, and the
Right.
whole time
Also-
you're gonna be like,
Also,
okay, buddy, pass the
you
dude.
brought up that he's a farmer, but
Yeah,
he was a
and
farmer
that's not
after
worse
he destroyed
than
the
us-
Infinity Stones, so
Words
you
are
wouldn't
his
get
weapon.
to have him creating all that stuff.
Listen, Thanos is the worst option, Jake. I'm sorry.
No,
you already
no,
lost
no,
this point with the choice.
Madeeh, you
Um,
pick something
okay,
you
so-
can do
so
in
now let's go to
reality,
Ed.
which is
Can-
absurd.
Can we
Yeah.
go to Ed now? Because Ed is
Let-
a terrible friend. He's a terrible
He
person.
is
He's
not a
always
terrible
leaving.
friend. He's a terrible
I don't
roommate.
think he's a
Crashes their
terrible
car
person
in the
one way or
middle of
the
a
other, but
zombie
getting stoned with
apocalypse
him just
just
means
so he
playing
can
the
drive a Jaguar.
PS2.
He's
The
a terrible
question
roommate.
is what movie character, and to take a person who is realistic
Ed
is
is
dumb.
Garbage.
Why? Why is it garbage?
Because you
want to
can
have a
do
good
that.
time
You have
with
to take
someone
someone
who's just relaxed.
fucking pick Falcor or a Ninja Turtle or some shit.
In
Oh,
one-
I think it's a valid
If
option.
I'm
I don't
smoking with a Ninja
understand
Turtle,
it.
I'd trip out too much.
May I please?
But also,
Madeeh, how is he a chill dude? He's the guy who's playing electro records at 1 a.m. when people have to work the next day. He's the guy who's always getting drunk. He's the guy who crashes the car just so he can
Right.
drive the nicer car. He
He's a
backs up
partier,
to
he doesn't-
takes
that doesn't make him
unnecessary
chill.
risks.
I
He
hope
has some
Thanos
instances
snaps
during
the
a zombie
judges
apocalypse
that
that-
don't fucking vote for me.
I think that Mary is like the 5th or 6th character in the Lord of the Rings universe that I would smoke weed with, personally.
All right, give me
Like-
one that would be
Yeah.
better.
Gandalf,
Sam's too preoccupied.
obviously.
He's always
Gandalf?
doing shit.
Gandalf smokes all of the
looking out
weed.
for-
I don't know
for
if
the
anybody
Yeah,
money.
I would
knows.
for sure rather smoke wizard
Also-
weed.
Yeah.
He's the kind of dude who would
Also,
give
I'm not
you
trying
the
to
last of
smoke
his
a
weed
bowl
to
and
make you
end up
feel
on
good.
a
That's a hobbit
2,000
that you're
mile
describing.
fucking walk.
They're hospitable. That's the kind of people they are.
Jake,
So
that's
Bilbo,
exactly what
Frodo,
would happen
Pippin,
if you
Sam,
smoked
any
with
of those would
Gandalf.
do the same.
I would rather
with Mary.
smoke with Gandalf or with Radagast than I
Yeah,
would
but I'm
with
sitting
Mary.
down with Thanos.
I don't count
and
The
I'm
Hobbit. The
taking
Hobbit
fucking
movies suck.
universe.
You're sitting
Yeah.
there with the glorious beard, and you don't think Gandalf would be better, or Gimli?
No, because
Elrond.
Gandalf will get you high and then send you off on a mission for a year,
Right.
and then
I
everybody
don't
will
wanna
think
hang
you're
out with
dead.
But
Gandalf
he'll
either.
give
Yeah,
you like
I'm
a
not
satchel of
trying
weed
to fucking
beforehand.
end up walking, so
Mary,
There is-
Mary is the
Mary
guy
or
who's
Pip-
he's
yeah,
gonna make
no.
sure you're having a good time. He
Mary's
might
gonna set a
cause a little bit
firework
of
off
trouble.
in your
He'll
face.
let's
Those are
talk about
hobbits,
friends
though.
to make sure that you have the last of the weed.
They're
You know what?
hospitable
Here's
like
the other
that.
thing.
If
No, man.
Alejandro gets high with Tony, fucking Tony never invents time travel, and fucking half the
We form
galaxy
a
is still
band.
fucked.
Listen, the other thing about Mary is that hobbits have like crazy like metabolism.
Yeah, He can smoke
Yeah.
a lot.
He can smoke a lot. I'm gonna be smoked under the table by a fucking hobbit.
No shit.
No,
Like,
I don't
Bro,
want that to happen.
that's what I'm
The other
all
thing,
about.
they're gonna take
he's
so much of the
provide
munchies.
ale,
I'm
he's
not
gonna
gonna have
provide the
anything.
weed. He's gonna provide the food. That's all I need, my guy.
No. Mary's
Also,
the one
if you
providing
smoke
the
with
weed.
Tony
He's
Stark-
he's from the water village in Hobbiton. He's one of the lake people. He's well versed in smoking. I read the books. I'm sorry.
Riverwalk,
He's really
sure. I did too.
he's really into smoking weed.
Yeah,
Like
he's into
old
smoking
Toby
weed,
all
but
over
he's
the
gonna
place.
smoke so much
He's
of it.
always
He's
got
gonna eat
some.
so much, and I'm just gonna be sitting there
But
going,
yeah,
like, what
it's
do
a
I got?
lot.
Like, what do I got left? Like, everything's being taken by this guy. I'm gonna feel like it's not a partnership. It's just gonna be me
no
having like
way,
a toke.
no way. Pippin's the one that smokes too much. Watch the extended editions. Mary, make sure he gives away his extra weed. He's constantly looking out for his friends, making sure they're having as good a time as possible.
Nah, I don't want to smoke with a hobbit. It's just too much munchy.
It-
They would
It's a
take
lot
too
of
much of the
pressure.
food, and they have too much metabolism for
What
the
better
weed.
race of people to party with? Like
Someone who's
they're
on the
all
same
about
level as me.
weed,
Otherwise, I'm gonna be like
food, and
passed
beer.
out.
I'd
and
also
they're
I
like
gonna
bet
to
go
point
on
half
out
like
the
that
people
Yeah.
watching this can tell the difference between Mary and
Gandalf
Pippin.
sending you on a quest is not a bad thing.
It
It
is, but that's a lot of
absolutely-
walking.
Yeah, no, I don't want to
Nobody
walk
died.
at all.
I don't
Nobody
want to
died.
get high with a
Boromir
guy
died.
who's gonna then
But that
like
wasn't his fault.
manipulate me into going on a.
Didn't want to take him in the
unexpected
first
journey.
place.
No thanks.
Gandalf died technically.
He came back. Yeah.
He got better.
All right.
He got better. Yeah, okay, whatever. Either
Yes.
way,
That
you want to
is
go on a
time.
2,000-mile long quest
That's
when you're high?
time.
Get out of
Time.
here.
Time.
Oh, oops, my bad.
All right. So now we're gonna get into the closing minutes here, and we're going to go back over to Caleb to start his final minute when he begins speaking.
All right. Yeah. Thanos would be an incredibly dangerous person to smoke with. It's just like it would be a terrible idea. I don't know why that guy was brought up, but also again, Tony Stark, a known addict. I don't think giving him, especially considering all this backstory and everything, trauma of like being an addict and stuff. I don't think giving him drugs would be the greatest thing. Also, he's super busy building things and like protecting the world all the time. So, like, when are you gonna get in there to smoke a doob with him? I don't think that's gonna work. Ed is the most selfish and like horrible friend. Like, I would hate to smoke with him. He's a dick. He's fun, but he's a dick. Mary is a good friend who will get you high and give you a good party, and if things go south, he'll take care of you. It's Mary all the way. I don't understand how there's any other choice.
All right, great. All right, so now we're going to go to Jake with his final minute when he begins speaking.
I think Madeeh wasted this question, as I pointed out. There are fat British people you can go smoke with. That's a thing in reality. You can do that. You don't need this question to do that. Caleb picked half of a pair that's fucking ambiguous. You can't really tell the difference between them. And again, you're not trying to walk fucking 500 miles and walk 500 more just to be the man who dropped the fucking ring at fucking Mordor. Alejandro, did you see what Tony did to his best friend under the influence of drugs? I do understand that booze is different than marijuana. I indulge in them both. But yeah, I'm not trying to smoke with that guy. Thanos' craziness was all made not smoking weed, not doing any drugs. So I smoke weed with the guy. I save half the universe. Biggity bam.
All right, biggity bam. Now we're going to go to Alejandro with his final minute when he begins speaking.
I don't know why being clever and being eccentric is automatically a dangerous thing. Like, Tony Stark can be chill. He may just invent like a giant speaker or something, an amp for my guitar. Who knows? Thanos will kill you in a fucking second. He believes he's right. He will argue with you all day long until he realizes you're not going to change your mind, and then he will swish you. To argue the addictive nature of a fictional character in a hypothetical situation is ridiculous. I think smoking weed with Tony Stark would be super cool. Yeah, if you've never heard of an evening soother at the end of the day, I don't know what to tell you. Mary Duck Brandy Buck is like a low tier character, and you can tell them apart if you do a little reading. I did read all of those books while high as shit, so I recommend it to anyone. But Tony Stark, I would get high with, and maybe invent like the first flying car or something.
All right, great. Now we're going to go to Madeeh's final minute when he begins speaking.
All right, you guys are all saying, "Oh, you want to smoke weed with a real person?" Yeah, I do. I just want to have a good time, relax, play PlayStation, watch movies, listen to music, and just bum out. I don't want to do it with a hobbit who is going to smoke me under the table in the entire time and then also continue smoking without me for the next like 12, 30, 40 hours because their metabolism is insane. And I just feel like I'd feel like if Mother Teresa joined up with Snoop Dogg for like an hour. Like that's what I would feel like. Thanos, I would rather smoke with Voldemort because either way I'm going to die. Might as well trip out on the fact that he has no nose instead of having a 8-foot tall purple chin. Iron Man, no matter what part of his life you take him from, there's always something wrong about him. Pre-Iron Man, Tony Stark was a dick, and I don't want to hang out with him. In between Iron Man and Civil War, he's really cocky and is constantly going to talk about putting a suit of armor on you, and his inventions that were important, so I don't want him being high and messing them up. Post-Civil War, he just got rid of one of his best friends, so I'm definitely not going to smoke a weed with that guy because he's got too much shit going on. And post-Endgame, well, he's dead.
All right, great. Now we're going to take all the competitors out, bring out the judges. Including me. All right, cool. All right, so now this time we're going to start with Haven.
All right, this is the last question, so I'm going to go on a little rant since it's the 420. You know, all these answers that they gave were pretty weird because I know when I smoke and I'm high, the first thing I want to do is be around the opposite sex because when my lips are dry, I want to get my lips wet, if you know what I mean. You know, their answers were all over the place. I'm going to have to go with mashed potatoes. I mean, I would have picked the cuter Hobbit if I was going to get high. I would have picked Pippin, you know, because he was funnier and he could sing. But at least they have food around and you could like frolic in the water and chill, you know, with the hobbits. None of the hobbits, there's no hobbits that are going to try to like mess with you when you're high. None of them are ill intent. You know, it's all good vibes there. There's little hobbit chicks around and stuff like that. Everybody else, like, I mean, Ed, he turned into a zombie at the end. Thanos, I think he would have probably did to you what a lot of people wanted Ant-Man to do to him after he got stoned. And Tony Stark's, I mean, he's just too rich. He wouldn't bother with us poor peasants. So I'm going to have to go with Mary.
All right. Sorry, I was muted. Now we're going to go to Chris to hear his opinion.
It's another weird debate. They were a little bit bald, everybody. Yeah, but I'm Alejandro, and then sorry, it's probably a little bit off here. But I thought a lot of people confused Robert Downey Jr. real life to his character, but I think Alejandro Lee managed to provide a lot of counterpoint. And another one of it could have gone anywhere, but I thought Alejandro pulled out elite, especially in the closing argument at the end.
All right, great. So now we're going to go to me, and I'm going to choose between Alejandro and Caleb because that's what the other two judges picked. This was interesting because I liked all the choices. I was with Jake for a very long time because I really like the idea of trying to chill Thanos out so much that maybe he doesn't do what he's going to do. But then I did really like Alejandro's takedown of that, where he said, like, you know, he's really rooted into his opinion. He's not going to change just because he, you know, smoked weed or whatever. You know, but the point that sold me on a competitor was actually Caleb. So I'm going with mashed potatoes on this one. And the reason why is because I loved his point, his closing, where he was talking about, you know, how Mary would be he would be great to smoke with because he's going to take care of you. He's just going to be there for you. And I just thought that was a really great kind of point. And for Alejandro's choice, I just thought everybody was really good on the Tony's irresponsible when he's under the influence, and Tony is an addict and stuff like that. And I just thought that was too strong of a point. And then also the big thing about Caleb just kept me cracking up for a minute straight when he said that Gandalf would then send you on a mission for a year and everybody would think you're dead. And that just cracked me up for a minute straight. So, but yeah, so I went with Caleb, and so he gets the third point. And so we're tied. We have a 3-way tie. That means that we're going to the blind round, if I'm correct. So now that we have Madeeh, Caleb, Jake all have 1 point. Alejandro does not have any points, but we're still going to let him play because why not? This is for fun. So we're going to go into the blind round. So the question the players are given is one of which they do not know what it will be ahead of time. They will first be given a general prompt to which they must respond. Whomever answers first goes first. Once they have answered, the full question will be given to them. Even if they feel their answer doesn't 100% fit the question, they must do their best to debate for the win. They'll have a few moments to quickly prep, and then they'll debate with the same rules as the last 3 questions. All right, so here is the blind round general prompt, and it is, name me a Kevin Smith movie.
Dogma.
Clerks 2.
Chasing Amy.
What's that one with Ben Affleck where he gets his wife?
No, can't change it. Can't change it. Because you can take that one if you want it, because that's what I said. Chasing Amy is the one with Ben Affleck.
No. The one where his wife dies when giving birth, and then he
Madeeh is going for Jersey Girl.
That's the one.
Caleb, go ahead and change it. I agree.
I was gonna say Mallrats then.
I don't have a problem with that. So all right, if no one else does, all right. So and Madeeh said Jersey Girl, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So got those in the chat there. All right, cool. So Jake actually answered this one very speedily, so we will let him go first. And I will begin the timer when Jake begins.
Whoa.
What's the question?
Oh,
minutes
what is
of
the
prep?
question? I apologize. You're right. I need to give you a question, don't I? Okay. The question is, get ready for this one, guys. What is the worst Kevin Smith film?
That's terrible.
Great. Love
All
it.
right. Now for Dogma.
Love you guys. You're welcome.
Fuck you.
Jake, we will begin the timer when you begin speaking.
There's minutes of prep, is there not?
Oh, you are correct. I'm
No,
sorry.
fuck it. Just go for it. It's more funny that way.
Go.
It's funnier
All right,
than
let's go. No problem.
Absolutely.
We'll do it
Jake,
live.
you're not getting a win on your record anyways. Just go for it.
Okay, so, I'm sorry. I'm not sure who's talking to me. We're legit just going.
You're doing it. Yeah.
Alrighty, fucking Dogma is the worst Kevin Smith film because I'm just not trying to deal with that religious bullshit. And it's fine. I'm not saying religion is bad if that's how you roll. I'm just saying that's not what I want for my Kevin Smith movies. There's there's literally a shit monster. It's shitty. I don't want to deal with that either. It's George Carlin is in it. It's awkward. How do you make George Carlin fucking awkward and shitty? I don't want to villainize George Carlin. And George Carlin's fucking awesome. It's just it's definitely the worst of the View Askew movies we've all got, or fucking excepting Jersey Girl. Hypothetically, if someone were to pick Jersey Girl, we all have View Askew movies. Dogma is the worst of them, and fucking I ain't trying to deal with this bullshit, literally.
All right. So now we're going to go to Alejandro next, who picked Clerks 2, and time will begin when he begins speaking.
I actually got it easy. I do think Clerks 2 is the worst Kevin Smith movie. It's just a collection of callbacks. If you like Clerks, there's nothing to like about Clerks 2. It's not the same movie. It's just, hey, you remember Dante and Randall? You remember Jay and Silent Bob? You remember the kids who were buying weed from Jay and Silent Bob? Like, what? Why not do something different if you're gonna bring these characters back or do something similar? Clerks was such an artistic style type movie. It was a cult classic. As soon as people saw it, they loved it. And Clerks 2 was just kind of a generic Hollywood joke. So yeah, Clerks 2, easily the worst Kevin Smith movie. I concede my time if there is any.
All right. Conceded about 15 seconds there. No problem. And now we're going to go to mashed potatoes, I believe. Mallrats. Time begins when you begin speaking.
No, it's
Madeeh.
What?
All right,
Yeah,
we'll go
it's Madeeh.
to Madeeh with Jersey Girl. Time begins when you begin
Jersey
speaking.
Girl. I really should have thought this through more. No, Jersey Girl is not a good movie. Like, you guys are kind of trying to bullshit your answers because you guys actually picked really good Kevin Smith movies. Jersey Girl, other than Yoga Hosers, might be the worst thing Kevin Smith has ever put out, and that's not an exaggeration by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's just a terrible movie. Jennifer Lopez is in it, but because of how bad she was in Geely, they had to switch her out and kill her off at the beginning because no way they were going to get away with another Ben Affleck Jennifer Lopez movie in like a year and a half. So yeah, no, it's Jersey Girl. The romance that he has with Arwen, real actor's name isn't in my head right now.
Tyler.
That's the one. Also, the relationship he has with his daughter is just like, all right, whatever, this is fine. Like, you don't care about anything in this movie. Also, randomly, Will Smith is in it at the end, shows up for like 10 seconds, hangs out with Ben Affleck, and then leaves. Like, this movie makes no sense, man. It's a mess.
All right. So now we will go to mashed potatoes. Talking about Mallrats when he begins speaking, so will the time.
Mallrats is the worst Kevin Smith movie in that it did not age well. There's a whole lot of content in this movie that is very problematic, from speaking to taking advantage of emotionally unstable women to a teenager getting screwed by Ben Affleck's character. There's a ton of problematic stuff. Peeking into girls' locker rooms, drugging people to get on a game show, shoving your hand up your ass to then give food poisoning to a man who's just doing his job in the mall. There's assault. It's just a horrible collection of things that are happening in a mall. It's also like one of the lower production value Kevin Smith movies, and some of the performances suck.
That's time. Cool. All right. So now we're going to get into the 6-minute open debate when the first person begins speaking.
There's no women's locker room in Mallrats. That's not a thing.
I said I meant changing room.
Okay, maybe that's the thing. But that is not a thing that happens on purpose. That is an accident.
I appreciate you trying to take the focus off of Dogma because it's such a good movie.
Alan
Like,
Rickman
it was
is
glorious.
It's a fantastic movie, but
I've seen it twice at least in the past week.
Yeah, no, Dogma is fine, but it's not applicable to anyone. None of us will ever fight a rubber poop monster and renegade angels.
Hey man,
Clerks
2022 has been
and
wild so
Clerks-
far.
hell yeah.
Yeah, Clerks 2
I
and
got a
Clerks
sequel
mean
for you.
something.
It's a movie.
Guess what? Jersey Girl is actually like a pretty good movie. Talk about using George Carlin well. He's an emotional powerhouse in that movie.
Yeah.
The part when they do Sweeney Todd in front of the whole school is
That was
hilarious.
so
The Will
great.
Smith parents just don't understand joke is fantastic. Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck are like actually really believable as their chemistry on screen.
Movie's just not good, man. You
Yeah,
guys
and
really
anyone who
shouldn't
says
do that,
Jersey
yeah.
Girl,
pretty
like
good actress.
Well,
I
wasn't-
have a few words. A man turned a man into a walrus once upon a time.
That movie didn't come up.
You want to
though.
talk about bad Kevin Smith movies? No, Jersey Girl.
Didn't
Like,
come up.
none of our movies are close.
I
to
would
the
By
contest
the way,
that is not a bad
Dogma
movie.
had like great performances from Shannon Doherty, Chris Rock. Like there's
Shannon
Alanis-
Doherty's not
For
in
real.
Dogma.
Alanis Morissette was God.
Yeah, Alanis
Shannon
Morissette was
Yeah, Shannon
God.
Doherty's not in Dogma.
It was
And-
I
great.
don't know what the fuck
And
you're
Alan
babbling
And
about.
Mallrats, wasn't that the
is
first
so
time
good.
everybody worked together? Like, Stan Lee was there, Ben Affleck. What was
Okay,
the other
what
guy's
are we
name? Jason Lee. That was the
Damon,
one.
Jason Lee.
Are we
yeah.
talking about Mallrats? Sorry.
Yeah. I was asking about Mallrats. Wasn't that the first time everybody got together and like did a movie?
I think
No, that,
Like
I mean,
that's
more
that's
like
the
No, hold
first
on.
time that's
Everybody.
made in Clerks too. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think Mallrats was the first one.
I don't understand the
Mallrats
question.
is ultimately like the worst earning and reviewed in the Viewers universe.
Anybody see Clerks 2?
Clerks
Yeah,
2
I've
was
seen
It's
good,
all of
man.
them.
Okay.
This
I
is
like
kind of
Clerks
my
2.
fucking franchise.
But everybody
I'm
saw
kind of a Kevin
Dogma,
Smith fan. I don't know if y'all know that.
and
or not.
Mallrats, right? Okay. Just making sure everybody's on the same
To be
page.
clear, I'm pretty sure we all saw Clerks too, and there was. You
Once.
said they didn't do anything different in
No.
that movie. They did a ton of stuff different.
They
Were the
changed the
callbacks- there were
setting. That was it.
there were like 3 callbacks. It wasn't all callbacks. There was
Dante's still fighting with his girlfriend, Dante's still fighting with his girlfriend. Randall's still a dick. Jay and Silent Bob are still making jokes out front.
Yeah,
Same
because
with
those
Buffalo
things
Wild
are
Wings.
that's not.
I think it's funny.
It's just
those
them
I
things
think
making
are
it's
yeah,
jokes.
because those things are
excess.
awesome.
It's
That's
blubber.
why you continue to do them.
But like also the characters grew and like changed and
They're okay.
like, did different
Clerks
things.
2 is a thing because Clerks is awesome and having a sequel to it is awesome. There is a sequel coming out to Mallrats. Jersey Girl, it was its
There's
own
never
thing.
gonna get a
There
sequel,
is
'cause
never
fuck
going to
that
be any Dogma 2. Dogma was a one-time thing, and that's because
It's because you can't
was-
get a hold of it. And through no fault of the movie, it's hilarious. It's just people are sensitive to that subject matter. I agree with
Remember
you.
how many
That's
people
why you
rioted or like were
can't
in
even
the
talk
streets
about it.
protesting, bro? That doesn't
Yeah,
make it a
people
bad movie.
that's how bad this movie was. People
It's not
literally
bad,
fucking
though.
No,
protested
man,
and
they were-
rioted it.
They protested
That's
before the
it.
movie came out.
That's it.
Like
Right,
they were just
but people
being
did the same thing to The Exorcist.
dogmatic.
Is The Exorcist a bad movie? Absolutely not.
Is The Exorcist
It's the
relevant to
Godfather
this
of horror
conversation?
movies.
Absolutely
It is
not.
It is now, because just because you protest a movie doesn't mean it's bad. I can protest any movie I want. Doesn't mean
Right.
it's like not going to be a good movie. I'm protesting
Yeah.
for whatever the hell reason I want to.
Yeah, you
For the record,
can,
I
but
also saw Passion of the
multiple
Christ.
people.
So,
There you go. See, Passion of the Christ was protesting.
Okay, Dogma is so bad. Kevin Smith literally showed up to protest Dogma. Deal
doesn't
with
make it
that.
bad. He
funny.
showed
Deal
up for
with
the
that.
joke.
Those are
That
facts.
that's straight
He
up
thought
a
it was
joke. though.
funny.
Let's be real.
That's
It
key
is
That's
really
as far as
funny.
he's concerned for the movie.
You know
It
he
may
showed
be a
up
joke,
just to
but
go
it is a
and then like,
goddamn fact. Dogma was so bad, Kevin Smith protested it.
and he loves that he did because he thinks it's hilarious
Yeah,
that he did.
That's
which it is.
fantastic promotional material.
We go in a little bit on Mallrats. I think Mallrats is one of the least well written, and like in terms of the performances, the guy playing
Mallrats is
TS
so good.
is clumsy. His line delivery is really bad. I don't
I
think
think a
Joey
lot of people would
Lawrence is
argue
very-
it's peak Kevin Smith. Mallrats.
Sorry.
I said I think a lot of people
Mallrats and
would
Dogma
argue
are
that Mallrats
definitely
peak
Kevin
Kevin
Smith.
Smith.
Very
That
few
one
people
chasing
would
Amy
argue
for
that.
sure.
I mean maybe, but also it's just I don't know. There's like there's a lot of problematic material that like I don't think holds up, and some of those performances I don't care. Like in the same way that in Clerks, Jay Muse's performance is like really bad. Like some of those guys are not good actors in those first movies.
I think that's a perspective
absolutely happens
illusion.
It happens with Joey Lawrence. It happens with the girl who had sex with Ben Affleck.
But you agree that
Jennifer
he's
Lopez?
bad in the movie and the movie is bad.
They're bad in the movie, yes. Okay.
All right. Well, that's time. All right. So now we're going to go to closing minutes here. And we're going to go back to Jake with Dogma for his final minute of the match when he begins speaking.
Dogma is the worst Kevin Smith film. I have there's a rubber poop monster in it. It is not relatable to anyone in any way. Clerks 2 is fucking a masterpiece. It's my it switches between my 2 and 3 all the time. Mallrats, everyone hated. Kevin Smith talks about fucking how much Mallrats was hated and how fucking he thought he was done and how Chase and Amy saved him after Mallrats. But Kevin Smith literally protested Dogma. I don't know, you cannot say that about any of those movies. I mean, that's his worst movie. He went out of his way to protest it. How can you argue? There cannot be a stronger argument than the director himself protested this movie, how bad it was.
All right. And now we're going to go to Clerks 2, who was Alejandro when he began speaking. So it was his time.
The only reason that Kevin Smith protested Dogma is because there were people protesting Dogma, and he thought it would be funny. He didn't organize a protest to go protest the movie. They were there because they hated the movie. Nobody cared enough to protest Clerks 2. Nobody cared enough to promote the movie. I don't even know if it had a theatrical release. I think I saw it in a Blockbuster or something. I picked it up randomly because I was like, oh, Clerks, and it wasn't the same movie. It's just kind of a bloated, kind of, how do you say, like a Hollywood knockoff of a classic film that nobody actually saw. They were just familiar with the characters. So Clerks 2, I think, is undefendable as the worst Kevin Smith movie. And I'll go ahead and concede whatever time's left.
All right. Conceding the 15 seconds there, 13 seconds, whatever it was.
My internal clock is terrible. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Now we're going to go to Jersey Girl, which was Madeeh when he began speaking. So will his time.
You want to know how bad Jersey Girl is? I forgot the movie was called Jersey Girl in my head before this happened. And that wasn't just because of the weed. It was just generally forgettable movie. Everything in this movie is forgettable. J-Lo's in it, but they had to kill her off because of how bad Geely was, and they didn't want to recreate that with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez in the leads again. Also, everyone in this cast is not really acting. They're just kind of showing up and getting a paycheck. All of your guys' movies are really good movies, in my opinion. I think Mallrats, Clerks 2, and Dogma are top 5 movies for Kevin Smith. And he's made 20? You saying that any of the top 5 movies are the worst is just, it's bullshit. Let's be completely real. Jersey Girl is the only one of these movies that is genuinely forgettable, which is the probably worst thing a movie can be, and nothing in it stands out. Everything in it is just boring, bland, and it's just there. Everything that you guys have, or all of your picks, all have memorable moments. Whether you enjoyed them or not, it doesn't matter because they actually were remembered.
Time is up. So now we're going to go for the final minute. Mallrats, mashed potatoes. Time will begin when you begin speaking.
So first of all, I've told Madeeh 3 things that were very memorable in Jersey Girl, so I don't know what he's talking about. Dogma is a fantastic movie, and he said it wasn't relatable at all. I think a lot of people relate to the main character's struggle with trying to find her place in the God's plan and stuff. It's a very relatable story. Just there's crazy shit happening, but it's also very actually well grounded. And Clerks 2 is not in any way a retread. They do a lot of very different things. There are some callbacks, but that's going to happen in everything. It's a good movie. Mallrats is a low budget or a high budget disappointment. It was a bomb. People didn't like it. It was poorly acted in a lot of the characters. It's his absolute worst movie.
All right. There we go. Now we're going to take out the competitors, bring out the judges to see who won this point. All right, here we go, and let me bring me in here. All right, so now we're gonna start with Chris this time.
So taking I don't watch a lot of Kevin Smith movie, but I went with Madeeh. I think he just brought example about his movie. I just all I heard for Jake was about Kevin Smith protesting his film and didn't hear a lot about everything else. So Madeeh wanted me to end up with him using specific example of his first movie to make it why it's bad. And him saying the most forgettable that Taylor could kill off. I feel the example really stole it for me.
All right, now we'll go with Haven.
All right. Yeah, they all had good points. But the one that kind of was edging out for me was going to be mashed potatoes. You know, he stuck the landing with Mallrats in his last minute. Him and Madeeh were the closest, to be honest, with the last minute they each had. You know, they really focused on why their movies were bad. But mashed potatoes was able to bring a lot more to his film than Madeeh in the last closing minutes. So I'll give it to mashed potatoes.
All right, so now it goes to me, and this is really really tough. I think everybody did a pretty good job with this one. You know, it's a blind round, so and no one got any prep, so that was pretty hard. Yeah, I was between maybe these two as well. I think. You know, anyways, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Damn. I think I'm gonna go Madeeh on this one, and I think the reason why is because I like that he talked about a lot of the behind the scenes issues with the movie and how that kind of like plagued it. But then he also talked about like the movie itself, how like a lot of the people were just trying to get a paycheck and they just weren't really doing that great of a job. You know, and yeah, so I'll go Madeeh on this one as well. So, and your winner, Madeeh Ur Rehman. Hey, how's it feel, man?
I feel good. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised I won because just how I feel right now, I figured I wouldn't be able to put sentences together. But I feel all right. This was fun, man. I like doing them with less stress. It's so much more relaxing, and I can just kind of not give a shit. But this is
I
cool.
absolutely agree with that. When you don't like really have like your record on the line, and you can
Yeah, it's
just kind of like
perfect.
do whatever. You know, even
Yeah,
when we were chilling over in Henry's league, you know, that was still just really
is
fun because there wasn't really much on the line then.
no,
So
no, like respect
You
to
know,
Henry, but
you
no
don't
one
actively
cares.
have to promote other people on my show, guys. Thank you.
Follow, and subscribe to Henry Confidential. There will
and
be
we all love debate around here. We can watch other debates, but yeah, you know, you did a great job, and I liked your choices, and yeah,
I
is
liked them too. I thought
yeah.
they were cool.
Is there anyone that I don't know what I was gonna go at here. I don't know what else to ask. So
It doesn't matter.
congratulations.
I gave
Thank
you a
you.
question prompt.
Oh, you did. Oh shoot.
By the way, if anyone hasn't figured it out, I'm here. I'm not editing this part out. I've been here like half the time.
He's the voice inside
Okay,
your head.
I'm gonna do this then.
It's the voice of your battleground god.
Okay, yeah. So, Madeeh, your next match will be in just over a week, and you're going to be taking on Sean Hunter, who also made it to a tournament final. The winner will have a number one contenders match. How do you feel about that? Taking on Sean Hunter?
It's going to be a lot more stressful than this was because
Probably.
Sean's actually really good, and we're going to be sober, so I have to actually focus. No, I'm excited. I do think that I can take Joe, even though I know I lost the last one. But I feel like I gave him a good run, so I want to go back in there and pull a Rocky 2 and win this time.
You're playing Sean, not Joe.
Right? Yeah, I'm talking about afterwards.
Down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to face Joe again. So I have to go through Sean to get there. I love Sean though. He's another Canadian. I think this is going to be the first Canadian on Canadian. Do you know what I mean? Debate in like a long time. I don't know if there's any other Canadians in the group, to be completely honest. Most of you guys are American.
I don't keep track of your guys' nationalities.
I appreciate that. That'd be something else. Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. It'll be fun. We have some cool questions. We haven't recorded yet, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
All right, that sounds great. Well, we'll go ahead. Congratulations again. We'll go ahead and send
Also,
you.
I've been seeing the word potatoes on screen for the last like 2 hours.
Now you're hungry.
I'm so hungry. This
All
is
right.
terrible. Why did we put 2 potatoes in the weed match? This is just. I should have had my kitchen. I should have filmed this from my kitchen.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and let you go eat, and we will talk to a second place finisher, one of the 3, and we will go ahead and talk to. Let's talk to mashed potatoes next, since he was almost there. How you feeling about your performance? No, I can't hear you.
And I'm muted again. Sorry about that. All right. I feel good about my performance. I think I did fairly well throughout, considering. And I don't know. I had a lot of fun. Like my goal in, especially this one, but in Battleground in general, is just to have some fun, hopefully be entertaining. And my head hurts. I was laughing so much throughout this. Like, it was a lot of fun. And it was cool to get to play Madeeh and Jake. So it was a lot of fun. I feel like there wasn't too much potato on potato violence.
Yeah, I definitely thought this was a hilarious one. I always love to see you debate because you're always like one of the chillest competitors out there. So I always love to check out your matches. So let me look and see what he had for you. Right now, Caleb has no scheduled matches. But is there any potential player that you would like to take on next?
I think I said in my last one, just not the best tier, but I think I'm in the 0-1 tournament, so I'm still getting to play, which is great, and hopefully I won't be going up against people like Jordan or high caliber players anytime soon, because
Caleb, just so you know, the tournaments are over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the tournaments are over. Excuse me.
It's okay.
My bad.
No worries. But yeah,
it's okay. We encourage you to get high. It's all right.
Exactly.
I'm sure Aaron.
Ding! Marijuana affects memory.
Aaron will find you a good player there soon. I don't know.
Specifically, it sounds like Jordan Owens. That sounds like what I have to know.
I mean, I'd like to get back from that because it was a slight embarrassment losing to Jordan. Anyways, right. Yeah, bring the energy totally down. Yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
No. Always fun to have you on. So great job. You almost got it there. But maybe next time.
I still want to register my complaint that Madeeh won on a lie. Your reasoning was a lie.
Maybe a little.
It has been heard by the council. We'll go back to in about 12 to 14 days, or if you choose to withdraw from the Movie Battleground Academy, whichever comes first.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Right. Well, thanks, mashed potatoes. Catch you next time. Go ahead and remove you out, and then we will go ahead and talk to Alejandro next. So let's bring him out. And what's up, Alejandro? How you feeling, man? This was your debut.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about my performance. I wasn't as scatterbrained as I thought I was going to be under the clock. When you're under the light, like you think about the timer a lot. But I was just trying to get through the points I was trying to make, and I really thought I was going to walk away with that first round, but the score wasn't enough to get me over. Yeah. Story of my life.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is like, when you're actually playing, time means nothing, and then it's all over way too quick.
I agree. And it wasn't as chaotic as I thought it was going to be. Everybody was pretty vocal about their opinions, and nobody really got stuck on a thought, except for Madeeh, forgetting which round we were in. But other than that, everybody was pretty cognitive. I was really impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you never know which way the judges are going to go. You might think that you had it, and then you know,
Yeah, you
it,
got to know your audience, I guess. Maybe I was a little too aggressive. Maybe they don't like my sunglasses. I don't know. But I'll have my actual debut to look forward to after this. So
oh, I was just about to ask you that. Yeah, it's coming up in the next few weeks, and your opponent is to be announced at the moment. But how do you feel about playing again in an actual match where like records are come into play?
one-on-one, I think will be a little easier to focus on. Personally, like trying to focus on 4 movies at the same time. Maybe people got lost in the shuffle. There was a lot of information being thrown at the judges. So I commend those guys for taking as much time as they could to consider everybody's answers. And I mean, I still got to vote, so I can't be mad about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely impressive debut there. It's the first time, in at least this iteration of Movie Battlegrounds, that there's been 4 people playing at once. I know with the drunk match, we were joking
Oh wow,
around saying like maybe there will be 4 competitors, and we are like, no way, that sounds terrible.
that's
But
awesome.
I think it was kind of fun this time around. I don't know, so
Well, I'm honored to be that for that to be my debut match in that case. That's
yeah.
awesome. The first ever 4-way. That's pretty sick.
That is pretty awesome. You did a
Yeah,
great
it's a four.
job. I look
Won't
forward
get
to
us
seeing
kicked
you
off
in your
YouTube.
next match. What's going on?
I said it's a 4-way that won't get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody. I've never smoked a weed. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, yeah, as I said, you did a great job, Alejandro. I look forward to seeing your next match, and thank you for playing. We're going to go
Yeah.
ahead and bring you out, and then we're going to bring in, last but not least, the Tato, the Jake Tato. And how's it going? How do you feel about your performance, man?
I mean, I guess the judges want half the fucking universe gone. Um, on the real, this was obviously a fantastic time, as I knew it would be. I think this is the best match I've ever played. Honestly, I don't think I had many pockets. I got beat fair and square. There was no me fucking seeding full minutes. There was like, I think this, and it's a good building block. But goddamn, Madeeh has me twice now, so shit.
Well, I will say, yeah, absolutely. That is definitely one of the worst things is when someone comes in and then they just don't have enough, and then they kind of just like seed like big blocks of time, and you're like, you could have maybe used that a little bit better. And I feel like today you were like kind of on point a lot more. And so you're definitely becoming. I know I was on your side like quite a bit this match actually, and I loved the fact that you chose Thanos because I thought that was kind of a brilliant choice. I was
I
like,
thought I was gonna get there, but hey, it happens.
yeah, no, I mean you had me for a lot of the time there with that one. That was a really great choice. But yeah, so your next match is actually going to be against Jacob Barber, and
From Tato on Tato crime to Jake on Jake crime.
and you'll be shooting for your first win. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that match?
It's gonna be a fun one. If today hypothetically were not 420, it may be Jacob Barber's birthday. So happy birthday, that guy.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Happy birthday.
And
If
yeah,
that's the
that'll
case.
be a fun match. Neither of us have a victory. And again, I owe him some vengeance for last year on his birthday. He doubled up the points on Sacha Baron Cohen as Pirelli, and Kevin Poss beat me in his birthday trivia. So I owe him for switching those points up. God damn it, Barber, I'm gonna beat your ass. I love everybody, and this was an absolute delight.
I'll tell you that. So, yeah, I look forward to that match. I think you're going to do great. I know Jacob's a really good player as well, so that's going to be a pretty great match. Look forward to seeing you there, and thank you for playing. Yeah, this was fun. All right. Well, I guess that closes it out. We had a really great match. 4 competitors. It wasn't that long. Okay, maybe it's a little long. I don't know. But I had a good time. These were really fun questions. A lot of great choices. And congrats to Madeeh. Congrats to the very close runner up there, Caleb, for that last point. That was so close. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out more Movie Battleground. There's a lot of great matches out there, including mine. So yeah, check them out. Thank you for watching.